Hello guys, welcome back to GPU Tester. Today we have a ray traced benchmark for you. We're going to be comparing the RTX 3080 against the RTX 3070 Ti. You can see the specifications of the card on the screen right now, and you will also be able to see the specifications of the test bench. First game we have on the list is Hogwarts Legacy. We're going to be playing at ultra settings using the ray tracing ultra preset. Off without upscaling, but we will move on to it ahead. So in terms of FPS, we get an average of 55 on the 3080 and 43 on the 3070 Ti. And that is pretty intensive and a lot less than what I was expecting, but you do have upscaling, which, as you will see, greatly improves performance. Now, we'll also be utilizing DLSS. In terms of FPS, we get 84 on the 3080 and 71 on the 3070 Ti. Overall, the experience is really good. The 1% lows are 50 and 42 respectively, and yeah, the game ran pretty well and I had a lot of fun.
I hope school's treating you well.
Next game we have on the list is Hitman. We're going to be playing at 1440p using the highest settings, and we'll also be using ray tracing. Hitman seems to have a way more demanding ray tracing implementation, and with the 3080 you can only manage 41 FPS and the 3070 Ti gives you 34 FPS average. The 1% lows come in at 33 and 28. The 0.1% lows come in at 31 and 27.
My knee is so sore. Like that. I fell over.
We'll also be utilizing DLSS. In terms of FPS, we get an average of 69 on the 3080 and 57 on the 3070 Ti. This time the VRAM is about the same on both these cards as well, so that should not be an issue. The 1% lows come in at 54 and 46. The 0.1% lows both get 44.
My knee is so sore. Like that. I fell over.
Next game on the list is Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to be using DLSS quality here, and we'll also be using the high settings with ultra ray tracing. I'm using DLSS here because this is one of the best implementations of DLSS, and it just doesn't make sense to play it without DLSS. Cyberpunk also seems to have one of the most demanding ray tracing implementation, as you get 57 FPS on the 3080 and the 3070 Ti gets 37. Keep in mind that is with DLSS and that is not path traced. Overall, the experience is pretty good in the 3080, but the 3070 is decent at best, and I would suggest you turn down a few ray tracing settings to medium and change the DLSS preset to balance, because at 1440p it actually looks really good still. Next game on the list is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We're going to be playing at 1440p using the highest settings, and we'll also be using ray tracing. This time we will not be utilizing any sort of upscaling. In terms of FPS, the 3080 gets an average FPS of 64, followed by the 3070 Ti is 52. The 1% lows come in at 43 and 37. Overall, again, it's a decent experience and both cards perform really well. 52 is not a bad average, especially considering we are playing with ray tracing, and if you want 60 plus you can just turn it off. But yeah, overall very decent. The 1% lows are not too bad either.
We've got something that'll bring him favor with the Emperor. I see it.
Next game on the list is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man actually has one of the lightest ray tracing implementations, so I expect it to run really well. And my assumption is right because we get 77 FPS average on the 3080, whereas 66 average on the 3070 Ti. That is without upscaling, by the way. And this game does have DLSS, which looks great, and you can always turn it on. It doesn't look quite as good as let's say Cyberpunk, but it does look pretty good. The 1% lows are also pretty good at 56 and 47 respectively. And let's move on. Next we have The Witcher 3. We're going to be running at 1440p using the ultra settings preset, and we'll be running the ray tracing at quality. There are two settings here. There is one performance and there is quality. Performance runs really well. Not really well actually, but it does run much better than quality. So in quality settings we get an average of 42 on the 3080 and 34 on the 3070 Ti. There's one more game where DLSS looks pretty good as well, so make sure you utilize that. And ray tracing is pretty subtle in this game, so I don't know if it's worth it to turn it on, but yeah, if you do want it, you can get a decent experience with both of them. Use upscaling for a much smoother and better experience. Next game on the list is Watch Dogs Legion. We're going to be playing at 1440p using the highest settings, and we'll also be using ray tracing. In terms of ray tracing, we get an average of 50 FPS on the 3080, followed by 42 of the 3070 Ti. The 1% lows are 44 and 37, 0.1% lows come in at 40 and 34. Overall decent experience. That is also going to bring an end to our benchmark. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do let me know in the comments what you thought of it, and I'll see you in the next one.